all of us have friends, Hello everyone, my name is Katie and I'm a third grade teacher in the state of Florida. It is officially the end of the first quarter or the first 9 weeks of the school year, so it is time for a little Q&A. I left a question box on my YouTube and my Instagram and had you guys ask me questions now that we are 9 weeks into this new school year. And boy, did you guys ask some really good ones, and I can't wait to dive into those questions. But before we do, I want to thank Halara for sponsoring today's video. Halara is an athleisure brand that kind of integrates athletic wear and comfortability into your entire wardrobe, essentially. They use performance, fabric, and functionality in their designs to make sure that you're not limited by movement or comfort. So they sent me some pieces to try out to show you guys, and I have loved them so far. I've been wearing them all week for the last week and a half, and so I wanted to show you what I got. The first item I wanted to show you, I'm actually wearing right now. So I'm going to insert some clips of me wearing it this week to school. I wore it out to dinner this week with David, and just some close-ups to show you. But these are the halaraflex mid-rise pocket stretchy cargo jeans, and this is in the black rope denim color. I ordered a size small and I absolutely love these. They're denim, but they're stretchy and they're comfortable and they're soft and they don't feel restricting in any way, which is absolutely incredible. I enjoyed wearing these to school this week with a teacher tee, and I also wore them out to dinner with a cute tank top, and I'm just wearing them now on a Sunday afternoon, just lounging around the house because they're seriously that comfortable. I usually order anywhere between a size 2 and 4, sometimes a 6 if it's skinny jeans, and I ordered the size small in these, and I think they fit great. The next item that I wanted to show off was another pair of the halaradenim. Now, unfortunately, these did not fit me as well. I ordered a size small in these as well, and I probably should have ordered an extra small. The material is very, very stretchy and very comfortable, but they are having a special on their flex denim right now, and I will leave all the information about that special in the description box. So if you're looking for some new denim options and you want something comfortable and stretchy, this is for you. All right, the next two items, they're dress pants. They're incredibly soft and incredibly cute, and again, lightweight and breathable and very stretchy. These are the halaraflex high-waisted side pocket straight leg work pants, and this is in the purple sandalwood color. And what I love about these is you can really dress them up or dress them down. Like I can wear them with a pretty plain t-shirt, and it can be like a casual like office outfit or casual teaching outfit. But this week I had my formal observation, so I dressed it up with a blazer, and I loved getting to dress it up and just feel fancy, but I also wore sneakers with it. So it's very, very versatile. The color is adorable. That's one thing I loved about all the Halara things as I was going through picking out what I wanted. They just have so many color options, and I thought this purple was so pretty and was a color that I don't have that's unique. The next pair of dress pants I loved, but again, I needed a size smaller. And these I ordered a small as well, and I wish I'd gotten an extra small, so I'll be exchanging it for an extra small so I can wear them. But this one is just a little bit different from the purple one because of the fabric. So this is the halaraflex high-waisted side pocket wide leg pants, but they're the waffle kind, and this is in the color Macchiato. I love this color. Oh my goodness, it reminds me of iced coffee. Now my iced coffee today is like pumpkin spice, so it's got a different little hue to it, but this macchiato color, hence the name, reminds me. But I really love them. I just needed a smaller size so it would stay up on my waist a little bit better. But as you can see, again, these are super stretchy, very stylish, can be dressed up or dressed down, and very comfortable. All right, this next item was something that I'd had my eye on for a very long time. It is like, what are they called? Like a jumper or a jumpsuit? Official name. Adjustable strap button Waffle casual jogger overalls. So yeah, it's like a jogger slash overalls type thing. This is super comfortable for a long day of teaching. Again, it's that waffle pattern fabric, which is just like the Macchiato pants. It's very durable, but also very lightweight and breathable, which is perfect for a Florida girl. All right, now I can't have a Halara haul without featuring some of their activewear. Basic padded workout cropped tank top. All right, I've worn this already twice to the gym. I've worn it for a sculpt class, which is like weightlifting, and I've worn it to a kickboxing class, and it has lived the test for both of them. And I really love how soft it is. It's like a buttery soft material, but it does have like padding on the inside, so it's definitely supportive. I wore it to kickboxing and felt plenty supported. I got a size small. I usually have a small or an extra small in tops. That's usually what I order, but they have this in lots of different colors, so I definitely think I'm gonna go order some in a couple other colors so it can be on rotation for when I go to the gym. And I wore it in these clips that I've been showing you with, if you're a Taylor Swift fan, you know why I ordered this, a skirt that's lilac short skirt, you know? Okay, in the song Get You Back, Taylor Swift. Anyways, so this is the Everyday Softly Zero Airy Crossover 2-in-1 Side Pocket Cool Touch Mini Tennis Skirt. It's a very long name, but the names for their products are very descriptive because this has everything that it just said. It's got the crossover in the front, which I love. It's got the side pocket underneath built into like the biker shorts that are underneath, and it's very cool to the touch. It's like a buttery soft, moisture wicking, very cool to the touch fabric. Fits great. It's perfect for a pickleball, also perfect for wearing to the gym or just out and about. I live in athleisure wear like this in the summer, especially in Florida because it gets so hot. And then the last two items, I actually only have one of them to show you right now because the other one I wore all day yesterday and it's dirty. But it's this cropped like athletic tank top. I actually really love this. I wore it yesterday with a pair of like yoga pants, and I had been looking into getting some flare leggings for a long time, and again I'm really glad that I waited and I got the ones that you're seeing now because they were very comfortable, buttery soft material. I love the crossover in the front. I think it was super flattering, and paired with this top yesterday, I wore it out to like a pumpkin festival, walked around, shopped at the vendor tents, and sipped on my iced coffee and just absolutely loved it. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Halara for sponsoring today's video and let you know that in the description box, I have a code, Mrs. Katie, that you can use for 15% off of a full priced item. And as I mentioned at the beginning, they are running a discount on their denim right now, a special on their denim, and it runs from October 18th until October 27th. So the link for that will also be in the description box, so you can click on that, but make sure between October 18th and the 27th, go get your denim and try it out. It's stretchy, it's comfortable, you won't regret it. It's perfect for a full day of teaching, and I'm so excited to continue to wear these pieces. All right, without further ado, it is time to get into the Q&A portion of today's video. This is my favorite Q&A spot. I've got my, I almost said Chromebook, not a Chromebook, what a teacher move. I've got my computer down here with all the questions. I've got my iced coffee. It's pumpkin spice cold brew with a little bit of Chobani creamer and then just some caramel drizzle. So delicious. It's 12 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. We've already been to church, been to Costco, and I hadn't had my coffee yet. So I was like, it is time for some coffee. And this is like my favorite spot in the house to do Q&As because of the lighting from my bedroom window. But you probably noticed that behind me I have two beds right now. We actually got a king bed. This one over here is our king bed with a king mattress. I'm so excited. We're gonna try, we've slept on that mattress for a while. I think it's a little too firm, so we might swap it out and try for the one that's like one notch softer. It's a Tempur-Pedic mattress. So the queen bed is still set up in here, and eventually this will be moving into the guest room that I've been showing you guys lately. If you follow me on my channel, I've given you updates because David's been working on renovating the bathroom in there, and then we've got to renovate the rest of the room, as in like finish scraping the ceiling, paint, and carpet in there. And then this bed will be going in there, and this one will move to the middle of our room. So it's a little chaotic right now with two beds. The room is quite full, but we're gonna make it work. Okay, I've been chatting a bunch. I'm gonna pull up YouTube first and answer some of the questions that you guys left me on YouTube, and then I'll go over to Instagram and answer some of the ones that are on Instagram that I haven't touched on already. So thank you guys so much for leaving questions, because first off, these videos are no fun if I don't have any questions to answer. So thank you for all your wonderful questions, and let's get started. I thought this was a good time because I am 9 weeks into this school year, which is crazy. I don't know how we're already that far into the school year, but I thought it would be a good time just to touch base. And I've done a lot of vlogs lately on my channel, so I was ready to mix it up and just have a chatty video with you guys. All right, first question is, how many students do you have and why don't you show them in your videos? So I have about 16 and 17 from my block 1, block 2, so somewhere around 35, 36 students in my room. And I don't show them in my videos because of privacy. That's not fair for my students, for their privacy, and for my family's privacy. And I also don't film during my contract school hours because of my teaching contract. So I want to be respectful of the fact that when I'm there during the school day, I am there to teach, and that's what I'm being paid for. And all of this is just extra fun for me. And so that's why I film before and after school, and why I don't film my kiddos. I know it would be really cool. I had somebody else comment and say, can you show us like you actually teaching a lesson? And as much as I would like super duper love to do that, and I think it's fun to watch other people teach lessons, I just don't feel comfortable doing that because of privacy for my students. But if you're looking for a teacher account to follow where she does show a lot of clips inside her classroom, go follow Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers, because I watch her videos all the time. She does a great job of showing her day in the classroom because she has the ability to do that with her families. So go check out her channel, but that's fine. Next question. Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure to teach in a testing grade? The answer to that is yes. Lots of pressure to teach in a testing grade. We were just looking like a week and a half ago at testing data from last year for our third graders, and like, how can we get that data to move, and how can we target these specific students to keep our school grade, all of the things. So the answer to that question is yes. Having taught in a non-tested grade and now teaching in a testing grade with mandatory retention in the state of Florida, absolutely lots of pressure. How do you keep notebooks and supplies separate for each class? I actually don't keep a lot in my students' desks. Actually, we keep nothing in their desks because I rip out their stories from their textbooks and staple them and make them like little packets and pass them out as we need them. So they don't have textbooks. We have Fox file organizers, which are like zip up organizers that all of our students have. So they keep their vocabulary notebook and word study folder in those organizers, so they travel back and forth with them. So the only thing they have in their desk is when they come in, they'll have their library books, their supply bag, their Chromebook in there. And then they have a clipboard. The clipboard stays, and when they rotate to the next class, they take their library books, Chromebooks, supplies, and their Fox file over. So I don't really have to manage keeping up with very many supplies for both blocks, which is very nice. I know my partner teacher does have math textbooks in their desk, and she uses duct tape on the spines. My homeroom is pink and her homeroom is blue, and she uses that to like color code it so it's easy for the students to access. Okay, this was the most asked question. Have you enjoyed being departmentalized, and would you want to go back to teaching all of the subjects for one class? So I actually just had my observation. If you watched my last vlog, I was planning that lesson out with you guys, and I was just telling my principal, I actually love teaching reading twice. I feel like I really, really know what I'm doing. I'm really comfortable with it, and I'm able to put elements in my lesson like talking chips and conversations and manipulatives for reading that I didn't have the time or capacity to plan for a lot of reasons when I was teaching all of the subjects. First, I was in a new grade level the first year I was in third grade. Second, it was a new curriculum. So both of those things also play a factor into it. This is my third year teaching this curriculum, so I feel more comfortable with it because of that as well. But being able to teach it twice, I actually really love it. I do miss teaching math, and I do think it comes with challenges because it is more difficult to teach two sets of students because I feel like my homeroom students know my routines and procedures better than my block 2 students. And so balancing that and also feeling like you have personal connections with all of your students when you have so many is definitely a challenge. But at the beginning of the year, and when I found out I was being departmentalized and you guys gave me all the pros and cons, everybody said the best pro was planning and feeling really comfortable with your subject. And so I feel like what I've been doing so far this first 9 weeks is really leaning into that and trying not to be a Debbie Downer about the rest of it. Like, yes, there are struggles that come with it, but like I'm trying to lean into the pros, because if I was just teaching all of the subjects with one class, again, there would be struggles with that and there would be pros to that. So I'm just choosing to lean into the pro side and just know that no matter what I'm doing, there would be some cons there. But right now I'm really loving it. And yeah, that's how I feel right now. I had a lot of people comment and ask if I was in the hurricane path for Milton. So my area that I'm in Florida was not impacted by that hurricane. Helene came through. We did not have any damage, but we were in the like storm area for that one, but we did not have any weather due to Hurricane Milton. But my heart and my prayers go out to everybody who did. All right, next question. Do you still use UFly? How often do you do fluency? And do you always do fluency work directly with students, or do you pair them up to do it together? So I use the UFly word lists for our word study patterns instead of the spelling that our curriculum has, because we use Savis, My View Reading. That was another question I got, was what curriculum do I use? And we don't care for their spelling words for third graders because we just think our third graders still have some fluency and decoding gaps. So we're using the UFly word lists for that. We are still using it this year, but I'm not teaching it as explicitly. These kids had UFly last year explicitly taught in second grade. So I'm finding that they are remembering more of the patterns. Like I already see the difference between this group and last year's group, because last year's group hadn't had that UFly, this year's group has. And so it's more of a, let's review this skill, let's practice it, and then we move on. It's like a brief 5-minute thing. And we do use the UFly decodable passages as like quick fluency practice. But I have a pretty high group in fluency this year. So I do have a few that I'm working on fluency with, but it's more in small group form or during those word study warm-ups, if that makes sense. If you don't know what UFly is, I'll link that in the description under like mentioned in this video, because their toolbox is incredible for phonics resources. It's from the University of Florida Literacy Institute, and their curriculum is awesome if your district wants to purchase it, but also they have so many free resources on their toolbox site. Ooh, this is a good one. What is your long-term plan for the next 5 years? Do you want to remain in teaching or possibly do something else in the teaching field? Do you ever feel burnout? I do feel burnout sometimes. Not this year yet. There's always seasons. You go through seasons of burnout in every school year. I think when you're just tired and exhausted. I've experienced a year where I felt burnt out and I was like, oh my gosh, this really stinks and I don't like this. But overall, this is my 7th year teaching and I still love teaching. And my 5-year plan is I would love to continue to teach. I don't see myself leaving the classroom anytime soon, but I do think it would be cool to go get a PhD and teach in a university setting. That's a very long-term goal that I think would be really awesome, and I just have it on the back burner, but it's not like I don't feel fulfilled right now unless I'm doing that type of thing, if that makes sense. What is one of your favorite things that your building/district does? It can be anything. Ooh. We have a house system at our school, and I really like that because I think it adds like an extra element of fun, but also it's really easy to incorporate everything we're doing into our house system because there's 6 character traits. And I shared a couple weeks ago in a vlog when I taught about 9/11, I did a whole presentation on 9/11 and interwove our character traits for our house system into it. And I felt like it was a very meaningful way to teach a difficult concept. So I think that's one of my favorite things that we do at our school. What are your thoughts on the news reports saying that so many teachers are quitting? Is this true or fake news? I think it's true. There's a lot of teachers that are leaving. I think there's still good things in education, and I think there are a lot of things that need to be changed. And so I think there are a lot of people who are moving on to find better opportunities that fit them and their family, and kudos to those people. But don't let it fool you, because I do think there are still a lot of passionate educators in the profession who are riding out the wave per se and want to see education get better and are working towards that. So don't make it think that everything's doom and gloom. It's definitely hard, and there are a lot of people leaving, and there are a lot of things that need to be changed, but there are still passionate people in teaching. What are your tips for building opening and closing routines with your class? I feel like it can take me forever to get ready for the day or to leave my room in the afternoons. So my opening routine, my morning routine is posted on the board for students in checklist form. And I think that helps me when the students are coming in, because I can say like, hey, check the checklist, or hey, where are you on the checklist? Are you finished unpacking? And I also have visual pictures with it, which has been really great. I also, once we watch the morning news, I start my block off for block 1 and block 2 when they come in from recess with some kind of breathing. We do like a hawk breath. We do a jellyfish breath where you breathe in, balloon breath, Spider-Man breathing, all kinds of breathing. We do one breath 3 times to start our block. And I think that helps the kids switch their mindset into, I'm in learning mode now. As far as closing routines go, I'm still working on it with this class. Some years I've used visuals and I've had posters for what they need to do to pack up. I do my read aloud in the afternoons this year, and I think that helps with my closing routine too, because it's a great personal connection point for me and my students, because we get to enjoy a story together before we leave. But my tips for that are model it. Show the students exactly what you want it to look like. Tell them exactly what you want it to sound like, because the more you model those routines and procedures, when you're the better they're going to get at it, if that makes sense. So like when you're introducing it and showing it to them and teaching them, show them how to do it. Then I call in a kid. I'm like, all right, they're going to show us how to do it. And then I say, let's call out a table group that can show us how to do it. And I do that for like the first 3 weeks of school because it's that important. What do you do when you're having one of those days when you just need to reset, find joy, and get rid of stress? I love reminding myself to imagine okay, what do you do when you're having one of those days and you need to reset, find joy, and get rid of stress, etc.? I try to make sure that I'm just like leaving my work at school and I go home and do something that fills my cup. Maybe I get a nice coffee when I get off or when I get home, or I've been getting like little the Olipop or the Poppy sodas when they're on sale at Publix. Buy one, get one, and having one of those in the afternoon when I'm grading papers really brightens my day. I like to listen to music. If I start the day off in a rough place, I always start the day by like doing my devotional and reading my Bible and listening to worship music. And that really helps me not start the day off in a rough way. And prayer, all of those things. But I think like leaving my work at work, which is easier said than done, I know, and going home and doing something that's not school related helps me reset. And just taking back my weekends. When I first started teaching in Florida, I would use my weekends to work on a lot of stuff. But I guess it was like 2 years ago, I was like, I'm taking back my weekends to do things for me. And I love that. But if you do have to take work home, which I do take work home sometimes, I like to take it to a coffee shop and get a nice latte and sit there with my headphones on in a cozy sweatshirt. And setting up the mood that way really helps me like get a positive mindset for what I do need to get done, and I'm able to like crank some things out. But that's also my personality type, that like cranking things out on my to-do list helps me feel better and a little bit less stressed too. Somebody asked if I can recommend my favorite books. If you're talking about school books, I'll link in the cards. I have a whole book dedicated to my favorite books in the classroom. As far as like books that I'm reading, how about I just link my Goodreads account in the mention in the video links down below, and you can go follow me on Goodreads and you can see what I've been reading. But I just finished reading The Four Winds and it was really good. It's a really long book, but it was fantastic. So I would recommend that one. And go look at my Goodreads. Okay, because I'm going to switch over to Instagram questions and see if there's anything I haven't covered. Struggling with students' stamina and focus. They're space cadets. Any advice? I actually got good feedback from my principal about my observation lesson this week, and she said the brisk pace that I use is actually fantastic. So the way I structure my block is we do a warm-up, like a reading warm-up, or we're reading a passage, practicing a skill. We do our word study for about 5 minutes. Then we go into our actual lesson for the block, and I give the kids the schedule on the board. I always tell them these are the 5 things we're doing, and I think that helps them with their focus because they can kind of grasp like, this is where we are and this is where we're going, and I do it in the same order every time. So I think that helps them settle into a routine, which helps with their focus. But I'll do vocabulary for like 7 to 8 minutes, then we do grammar for 5 to 6 minutes, then we jump into our genre that we're studying, our text that we're working on that day, and then our weekly skill. And I move really fast, and she said that she feels like that helped the students keep their focus because I just don't give them very much downtime. So that's like my biggest tip for that. And also just the power of proximity. Like make sure you're walking around the room, you're calling on students from all areas of the room. You're calling on them even when they don't have their hands up. You're just asking like, hey, you tell me the answer that you wrote down, and like keeping them on their toes. When I went to the Get Your Teach On conference, they were like one time, they were telling a story about how one time they had an administrator come and observe them just to chart out where they walked in the room. And every time they stopped, like they moved and they stood somewhere in the room, the administrator put an X. And I was like, that's such a good idea because I don't make it all the way around to the back table as often as I'd like to since my board is in the front. So remembering to teach from all areas in the room, if that makes sense. That was a lot of different advice thrown into one, but I hope that was helpful. Thinking about switching from first to third next year, would you recommend? Depends. There's a lot packed into that question. And I have a whole video that shares my experience from moving from first grade to third grade. So I definitely think you should go check that out. One of the things to consider is if it's a testing grade, it's definitely different from teaching first grade, and the material is just so different. But I've liked the switch. I really like third grade and I really love first grade. I think they're both really challenging grades. Somebody once told me that all the odd number grades are the hardest to teach. I don't know that that's true, but I can tell you for sure that first grade and third grade have a lot of content packed into them. So I'd recommend it, especially if you're considering the switch, but just know what you're getting into. No questions, just loving your content. Oh, thanks. Ooh, this one's kind of fun. What body mist or perfume do you wear the most? Let me grab them. All right, let's have a little influencer moment. This is the Bath & Body Works mist that I've been using. It is whipped pistachio and amber. Okay, I don't like flowery scents at all. I'm not a flowery scent person. This one smells so good. And it's like a very rich scent, but also kind of sweet, if that makes sense. And then as far as perfume goes, I use the Ariana Grande. Oh gosh, what's the name of this scent? It's just vanilla something. I thought the name of the scent was going to be on there. If I find the name of the scent, I'll pop it on the screen with a text box. But it's the Ariana Grande, and I think it's just like vanilla mod vanilla maybe. And oh, this smells so good. So those are the two like perfumes that I wear. Ooh, how do you handle parent communication and parents who come off as rude? My biggest tip for this is to remember to not take things personally and wait to respond. So when you do get an email from a parent, your first reaction, especially if it's not a positive one, your first reaction is always going to be to take it personally. And I think I've learned that in the last couple of years. And so I know that. So then I can also remind myself that like my first reaction is not always what's happening. I'm like, okay, you read this, you took it personally. Now you need to read it and like remove yourself from it and try to think about what this parent is trying to communicate to you and how they're trying to help their child. Because I think that's just natural instinct to take it personally and to be like, oh my gosh, they hate me or they're so mad at me. And that's not always the case, but I think we read it with that lens the first time we read messages from parents. We send out weekly email updates and weekly newsletters, and I try to over communicate so that we don't have a lot of issues later on, if that makes sense. And making positive phone calls and positive messages, we use Remind, and I'm always sending pictures and sending positive messages and like, look at what they wrote today and all of those things, and I think that helps. Ooh, somebody asked if I'd share more about my faith or my testimony. I love that you're a fellow believer. I should do a whole video on that. I might do a video on that where I just talk about like my faith and my testimony. If that's something you're interested in, comment and let me know. All right, that's it for the questions. Y'all, you asked so many good questions. That was so fun just to chat about how the school year's going and to show off my new fall wardrobe with you guys. This was so fun to film. Thank you guys so much for watching this Q&A video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I like to do a variety of content, mostly teaching vlogs, but I sprinkle other things in there every once in a while as well. Also, don't forget to check out Halara's website and find some super cute athleisure wear or even like some work wear that speaks to you. Use the code Mrs. Katie for 15% off of a full price item, and check out that denim special that they're running through October 27th because you don't want to miss out on the most comfortable pair of jeans you will ever own in your life. Appreciate all of you guys and your questions so much. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.